Well, this was quite a surprise. If I had based my opinion of Jethro Tull's Benefit on the pressing that I've had for 20 years, and I did base my opinion on it for 20 years, I would think it's the worst sounding Jethro Tull album ever. However, my opinion has been changed by the new Analogue Productions 2x45, so we'll talk all about that in a minute. Analogue Productions is not a newcomer to the Jethro Tull catalog. They've done a couple of significant releases that I want to show you first. The first was quite a splash. So that was Jethro Tull's most popular album, Aqualung, done as a UHQR. This is 2x45 on Clarity vinyl, 200 grams in the doll spine slipcase, which is a thing of the past now, unfortunately. Some people may feel otherwise, but I really like these. I realized when I pulled this out, I haven't done a shoot out of this. This came out before I started the channel, so it was old news by the time I got the channel rolling, and now I'm thinking about it. I might like to do a shootout because I have a DCC pressing of that and a Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab version, as well as an original US pressing, and maybe even a UK. So if you'd like to see me do that, let me know. Their second release to me was even more exciting. It took forever, for sure. Months and months of waiting for this. This is Stand Up, 2x45, a regular reissue, $60 reissue. I remember seeing this advertised for months and months in those flyers that you get in these Analogue Productions records. There it was, the picture of Stand Up, so easily recognizable. And I'm like, where is it? It's been months, almost a year. I think it went over a year. And finally it came out, and I was in love with this. I thought this was wonderful. One of the reasons it probably took so long was this. The elaborate Stoughton gatefold. Let's blame it on Stoughton. But there's no one to blame about the sound. The sound is really good. So what happened with Benefit? I don't know. I mean, part of this stems from the production. I think the two records surrounding it are just better productions. Benefit has a weird sound to it, at least based on my experience with these original pressings. It sounds claustrophobic. There's no other word to describe it. It's like everything is bunched together. It's all centered in the mid-range. There's not really any bass. There's a kind of hashiness to the highs, maybe because of the lack of bass. It just seems mid-range centric. There's not much depth. It's pretty much like a piece of wallpaper. It doesn't sound like there's much dimensionality to what's going on. On top of that, some of the effects that are used in this production give it even less a compelling sound. You know, Ian Anderson has a great voice, and I've heard it live, and I've heard it to better effect on the later albums like Thick as a Brick or A Passion Play. Here, they were really going on all out with the trippy effects. So you hear him like speaking from the ether, from down a tube to a phasey feeling on his voice, vibrato, nothing natural at all. Add to that these other qualities that I've mentioned, and I thought there's no hope for this record. And based on my experience with this one, the Chrysalis Pressing, which is a hybrid actually of two different masterings. And I found that out when I got this original Reprise pressing as well. When I looked at the dead wax originally, I was like, oh, they scratched out something. I realized it was a Reprise stamper on side one and a new mastering on side 2 that was done when they switched to the Reprise, to the Chrysalis label. So it's kind of a mishmash of masterings, and it sounds like it too. There's no consistency from side to side. I think the first side sounds a little bit better. This is the Reprise pressing that my friend John sent me. It is better in some ways. It's definitely more consistent across both sides, so that's a plus. However, the general traits of what I heard on the Chrysalis pressing apply here as well. Maybe a touch better, but really not something that's going to keep me returning to Benefit. As a result, I wasn't really that familiar with the record when I got this. I felt if anyone could do something with this, it would be Analogue Productions, and I was really glad to see Matt Luthans on board as the mastering engineer. Of course, Analogue Productions utilizes all of the great mastering engineers, and I think we can count Matt Luthans among them. I've been following his work for a while. He is cutting this right at the Mastering Lab, which is located in Salina, Kansas on Chad Kassem's Empire, which consists now of Acoustic Sounds, Analogue Productions, Quality Record Pressings, the Mastering Lab, Blue Heaven Studios, and I bet pretty soon he's going to be printing his own jackets there too. I wouldn't be surprised. There's something to be said by having everything on board. He can cut this directly from the original master tapes, cut the lacquers, have them plated within an hour, and get the process rolling without any delays. When you delay cutting a lacquer, there's degradation. So that is one great advantage of having everything under one roof, and that definitely shows. They've also given this a really nice presentation, finally. These earlier single jackets are just boring. Really, this looks so much better. Everything has been corrected. The color looks good. It just has a bit more depth. It looks wonderful. Nice heavy jacket, low luster. Fantastic. And I think only one country got a gatefold, and this was the interior photo on the gatefold. I love this picture because that reminds me when I saw Ian Anderson, all the theatrical posing and stuff really stands out in my mind. I mean, I can't remember a lot about that concert, but that does stand out in my mind about how compelling he was as a frontman. Yeah. So how does this sound? Well, I think they've kind of worked a miracle here. No, it's not an audiophile recording that's going to be a demo disc. It's not that. But they have been able to draw out the strengths of this production, get rid of some of the problems with it, and give us the best sounding edition of this that I've heard so far. I don't have a UK pressing here, but I can't imagine that it would hold up to what they've done here. First of all, that mid-range centric presentation of the earlier pressings has been opened up. So there is warmth. You do hear the bass now, which is great. The top end is smoother. It not overly smooth, it just sounds more inviting. So even though there are aggressive moments in the music itself and in the instrumental sound, such as the guitars, everything sounds better because it's given a bit more body and warmth. That's really a big, big improvement. Secondly, it feels less congested. I don't know if it's just from it being spread out on 45 or if there's some other thing that Matt Luthans did to give it more space. So you hear each instrumental part better, vocals as well. Drums sound way better. Before they were like a flat piece of paper. Now they have some dimensionality to them. Overall, each track came across much, much better. And as a result, I started to get into Benefit finally. And that's the biggest compliment I can pay to this mastering, is what the previous masterings kept me pushed away from, here invited me in. And even though I understood now that, it's not an audiophile recording to begin with, I was able to appreciate it much, much more, and enjoyed songs such as the opening track, With You There to Help Me. Really good. I loved it on this. To Cry You a Song, wonderful too. Teachers always sounded pretty good. Maybe it was recorded in a better way, but it sounded wonderful here. I love that. It's probably the strongest track on the album. Saucity, You're a Woman is great too. The bonus track, Alive and Well and Living In, was nice to hear finally. I had never heard it before. And overall, I think I'm going to enjoy delving deeper into Benefit now that I have this Analogue Productions 45. It solved a lot of the problems with the earlier masterings, and I think they did a wonderful job with it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.